have the next link here, but I have to leave the game in the main game.
Yeah, well, I am in the game, so I can start talking about the situation. So we got a little bit of an apple core in the middle, if you're not familiar with this map. You are not able to wall on this area as far as I remember, so what players do usually wall in their TCs, and then you have really safe and solid wood income. And then on the outskirts, you have all these lots and lots of resources. So berries, gold, stone, and the like. And it's not too uncommon to kind of wall up and boom on this map, but also can go forward with some archers. It seems like that's what Sitaux will be doing. As Vietnamese, he knows where Hera's TC is, but on a map like Enclosed, it's, you know, not the craziest hint, but some. Okay, fletching coming in for Hera, in for Sitaux. We see archers versus archers.
Yeah, archers is just a pretty solid option on this map because it's not like you can really protect your outer villagers against archers because you can't really wall them in. So yeah, you want to have a little bit of range to shoot over top. And yeah, just archers is a pretty good unit. We're seeing a tower on the berries from Sitaux. It's kind of the only way to secure it, right? So, yeah, I kind of like it. We've got 2 Eagle Scouts from Hera. Kind of makes sense. You just make them just to prevent your opponent from going skirmishers as easily, and your barracks is going to be idle anyways if you don't make it, so might as well.
Exactly, and the scouts, the Eagle Scouts do have extra pierce armor, so they shouldn't be too bad versus the Vietnamese archers. Vietnamese archers, however, do have extra HP, so they're a little bit more, you know.
Stronger.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They have a little bit of an advantage.
The 2 Eagles is actually nice too because then you can fight the enemy scout cav. That's another good thing to point out. So yeah, just having, it's like you have a double scout instead of just the 1 scout, even if it's not as strong as the scout cav.
Exactly. The scout cav has the advantage of being a little bit stronger and also a little bit faster, but Hera's adding a few more of his eagles right now, and he's adding some skirmishers, which seems to be like a double counter to the archers. So it seems, I mean, but then you have double the military, so we like it. We get those numbers up high. Yep, Sitaux, meanwhile, just pumping out his archers right now.
Yeah. We'll see if it is good. Like the thing with Eagles is that they're actually kind of bad against archers in the in the feudal age because they do only have 2 pierce armor, like scout cav. So they're kind of like slow scout cav pretty much at this stage of the game that do less damage. So they're kind of not great in feudal age. Like they're not horrible, but they're not great.
Hera did pick up defense, so we do have them at least with the first defense upgrade. And Sitaux, he's picked up fletching and armor for his ranged units, and Hera only with, oh no, same thing. So he's got fletching and the armor as well. So Hera's going pretty nice blacksmith upgrades, and military looking good for him. 3 more units on the field.
I think a lot of players are starting to realize that you just want to upgrade your units a lot in feudal age. It doesn't slow down your castle age too much, and it can let you win a fight, which can let you win the game. Now, Hera, since he did invest into more upgrades here, he is going to be up to castle age a little bit slower. We'll see if that ends up mattering. But is he going to dive in? Gonna go in? He's thinking twice.
Well, we did force some small walls here, but Mr. Sitaux just deletes them, and then he's able to use that wood for something else. But the thing with Empire Wars is builds are super tight. So yeah, even if you build 1 house extra, like it's 25 wood, and then you won't be able to have maybe your siege workshop or whatever it is that you had planned for castle. But seeing Sitaux making this tower, it's unlikely that he will be building town centers. Hera still has 200 stone available to him, so he has the option to boom if he wants to, or he can also sell that if necessary. It's like a little ace up his sleeve. But he does have some wood coming in, so I think by the time he castles, he should have enough for a TC, and unlike Sitaux, who's a little bit poor in that regard.
Yeah. Well, Sitaux, he just got housed on his archers as well, so he's kind of down an archer, or 2 archers even. So he wanted to go for like this big crossbow attack because yeah, he did He did get the tower, which means he can't really add TCs. So he's still going to do it, but he's just going to have a little bit less. Knights are going to come in, I'm assuming, from the stable. Yeah, there's the first knight being queued. And he's going to be able to hit a early crossbow timing and then follow it up with knights. So he's hoping that Hera is going to go into skirmishers or something like that. But we can see that it's going to be 3 racks eagles, which is going to be pretty common with them. The crossbow timing probably isn't really going to do much here, but the knights will help against the eagles.
Yeah, so Hera's going to pick up his Eagle Warriors. He still has some skirmishers, but with 7, he can't afford to upgrade them to Elite. It's 230 wood, so it's very, very pricey. In the meantime, Sitaux has his crossbows already in. Botkin is in. He also has Bloodlines, so adding Knights and Cross, super strong in team games. And Sitaux is saying it'll work fine in a 1v1 too. So perfect. Knights can clean out skirmishers or siege, and the crossbow can... defend the knights. It's amazing.
Yeah, crossbowmen, they can beat eagles as well if you get enough of them, and especially once you get thumb ring. But yeah, these eagles are looking a little scary here. One knight, I guess neither player really wants to fully commit here. And the crossbowmen in the bottom are probably going to get cleaned up by these skirmishers, so that's going to be all of Sitau's pressure gone. Meanwhile, Hera is adding a second TC already, so he's going to get a little bit ahead economically. Some archers came in and sniped a villager on Sitau's gold in the back there, which it's a little thing, but that's -1 villager on gold, so it's something.
It certainly is something, and Hera has added a second town center, so his villager count is gonna, increase. Whereas Sitaux only picking up wheelbarrow right now, 1 town center. He's got good farms. Farms don't have horse collar though, and that could be a little bit of an issue, especially if he wants to be seeding lots of farms to continue his knight production. But Bloodlines is in, and now he's picking up +2 defense. So we're committing to the knight play, and so not having that eco upgrade could be a little painful.
Yeah, I agree. This is a pretty all-in play by Sitaux. If this aggression doesn't work, he's going to be super far behind. So he pretty much has to kill all the eagles, maybe kill some vills here. Now, these eagles aren't actually enough to fight what Sitaux has here. So these eagles are going to have to back off, or they're going to have to counter raid or something like that. Because, yeah, well, Sitaux is a little scared of them. I mean, it is a scary number of eagles, but the knights and crossbowmen should be able to clean this up. And if Sitaux just chases eagles around, it's not going to be good for him, though. He needs to either force a fight somehow or go to Hera's base.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of eagles, but they don't have Castle Age upgrades, so they're still only rolling on feudal. And the knights here, as they're trying to run away, are a little bit faster, but they're not getting too many hits.
Yeah. Needs to be careful with the knights so they don't get surrounded. Nice pullbacks. A lot of the arrows are missing because no ballistics.
No ballistics, and they're shooting from further away. The thing that makes ballistics really necessary is when you're shooting from further away and then you have movement. And eagles are quick and they're shifty little guys, so having ballistics helps out big time. But if you are really close to your opponent, then most of the arrows would hit anyway, and then ballistics you don't see as much benefit from ballistics there.
Exactly. The knights just needed to be near the crossbow. Now, this is looking a little sketchy for Sitaux at this point. Losing those 3 knights, and then basically the 2 knights are really weak. This is going to be really hard for him to take a good fight. And meanwhile, Hera's just booming. So it's like Hera just wants to draw these units off into the middle of nowhere so he doesn't take economic damage. He doesn't really care too much about potentially losing this fight. As long as Sitau's units are away from Hera's base, then Hera's happy.
Yeah, and Sitaux, he's going into like this all one TC all-in push here, but he's not like coming forward with a siege, and I feel like, yeah, he's on a clock here. He needs to do some serious damage, or Hera's already up 10 villagers, and that's just going to expand. I'm imagining that Hera's going to maybe drop even a 3rd town center soon, but we are taking a fight here. The crossbows are getting surrounded by the eagles, but it's still not looking too shabby with the micro from Sitaux.
Yep. It's looking like it's a bit of a wash here. The eagles are going to have to fall back once the crossbowmen get to the hill. But again, like, this is fine for Hera because he can afford to throw more units because he just is going to have more units coming in. And, well, we have a little skirm raid coming in the back, but that doesn't really matter. Like, the knights are going to come forward, but they're not really going to be able to accomplish too much here.
Yeah, so for the same amount of resources that it takes to make an eagle or a knight, you can get 2 eagles, and 2 eagles absolutely crush a knight. So knights don't counter eagles per se, especially when Hera has the numbers.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
And
third TC coming down.
yeah, third TC because, well, he knows that he's ahead and he's also safe. He has enough eagles here that this mass can't really go down. So he took a good fight against those knights with the eagles, and that gave him the confidence to just expand his eco further because he knew that he got ahead militarily, so he could be a little more greedy.
Yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching, by the way. We got Aztec monks on the field collecting relics, and what makes Aztecs so special with their monasteries is 2 things. Firstly, the relics generate a little bit more gold, so 33% more gold per relic, which is really, really nice. And 2, the monks are super strong. With every tech that you research from the monastery, you get 5 more HP. So you can have super tanky monks, and they're very difficult to kill, and then it's easier for them to get conversions. Speaking of conversions,
exactly.
Do we get one?
We won't get one there. They also look extra cool, though.
This is also true. They get bonus points for the look, the fashion.
Yeah.
It's like Kevin Cucumber from SpongeBob. I'm doing this for the fashion. Only real G's will get that reference. Okay, so we're surrounding the Eagles, and it looks like Hera's gonna lose a lot of his army. He's gonna need some clutch conversions.
Yeah, not necessarily the greatest fight for Hera here. Crossbowmen start to get pretty good. I think that... Wait, does Sitaux have Thumb Ring? Let me check that real quick. He does not, actually. So, I mean, even without Thumb Ring, he's still doing a pretty good job with these crossbowmen. I think it would have been probably a worth it while investment to go for. But... this is going to be a little bit of economic damage here.
Yeah, but what Hera is lacking in military, he's making up with his town centers. He's adding a 4th one all the way on the east end there on some gold. But we are losing some villagers, and, well, that's not ideal.
No, exactly. But without ballistics, it's so hard to get enough Vill kills. Like, he's going to kill a few with the knights, yeah, maybe, but... every time the crossbowman could shoot, they would kill a Vill if ballistics was in. So
yeah, well, the monk drops the relic and he's like, oh, I gotta go to safety. Do we have a university? No, we're adding a 2nd TC here for Sitaux. In terms of university, I don't see it just yet. Ballistics is pretty expensive, but he has the resources, at least the wood for it, because it's 200 wood for the university, and then you need to pay 300 wood and what, like 200 gold for it. So
175. Yeah. Close, almost 200. But yeah, Sitaux is electing to add a 2nd TC here. He feels like the economic damage that he's gotten is enough to justify stopping military production for the villagers.
Yeah.
We can see that it's probably not enough, but maybe he can get a good engage here. Actually, this might be okay for the knights. There might be enough. Probably not enough, but maybe.
Yeah, it's really up in the air in terms of military here. We have a little bit more, I would say, HP for Sitaux if we take out these villagers that I've accidentally selected. But value of the army is a little bit better for Sitaux. He doesn't have any siege, though. I guess he's thinking his knights will act like the siege, and he is getting some villager kills. But again, Hera has 30 more vills. It's looking really, really good for him, and his good economy is going to enable him to pump even more eagles out. And he's not too bothered.
Yeah. The eagle spam is going to be real from this point onwards. Like, Hera can just spam eagles forever. He's got, like, what, 5 barracks? Aztec barracks that are working faster even. And Sitaux has absolutely nothing to stop this. TCs cannot stop eagle warriors. So he's going to try and get some more stables out and make knights, but I fear it is too late. But we will have to see.
Well, we are going to try to boom this one out, adding a 3rd town center on some gold there on the outskirts for Sitaux, but Hera had a huge advantage, and his eagle numbers are growing to scary proportions. I mean, they're not as scary. I would say definitely mine eagles are a little bit better than Aztecs just because of their ability to get 40 extra HP in the Imperial Age, but Aztecs, you can't complain. We've got the upgrades, and we're missing iron casting, and maybe at some point in time we'll grab it. Right now, instead we're using the food into making more military, and we have the +2 defense, so hanging out underneath town centers is not going to be the scariest thing.
I mean, Aztecs, they do have the production speed bonus, so they are technically better in the Castle Age. But yeah, as you said, Mayan Eagles are a little bit later better in general. But yeah, you know what Vietnamese does have for defense against the Eagles is battle elephants. Battle elephants actually just destroy them. The only problem is that monks exist, but with the crossbowmen,
Monks exist.
like,
Hera's
Sitaux
got
can
3 of
pick
them.
off the monks.
He's got 2 relics too, and they're working out, like I already mentioned, a little bit, generating a little bit more gold, and monks are going forward. Do we see where
Yeah.
the other 2 relics are? Yes, and I think a monk is perhaps trying to go get that that other relic here, but it's in dangerous territory, so Hera choosing to disengage his monk from that
Yeah.
front. Forward castle,
Yeah.
though, oh my goodness.
Yeah. I think Hera will be able to get this relic. It's just, he wants to wait for his bills to get here before engaging, I guess. Or maybe he's going to go for it. He
Well,
sees that there's actually not really that much here.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked to see the monk try to go get a conversion of a knight, you know, maybe, but, you know, he wanted to get the relic, so we'll allow it. Nice surround. So Hera's getting a really nice surround on these crossbows, and this little mass of crossbows is all really Sitaux has.
Yep. And the game is over.
And the game is over.
Sitaux really need to go even more all in with his play, but he kind of added TCs, and then he was already too far behind, and the Eagle spam was real.
And the GG was called. So Hera's going to come out with the first victory. Second map will be Sitaux's, but let's take a look at the stats here real quick. Military economy, technology, looking really good for our boy Hera, who is also Canadian. So we got the little trifecta of Canadian people. In terms of units, I guess slightly more produced there for Sitaux. Resources collected, that's on Hera. Technology score, I was pretty similar. Society, more release for clicky for Hera. What about the clicky clicks? Hera, 128. Damn,
I don't know how, like,
boy. Sitaux with
how could
88,
you
which
even
is
do
not
that?
too
Yeah.
shabby, but my goodness, that's crazy.
It's just kind of insane how fast these players are, like both of them, but especially Hera here. But yeah, this was pretty solid play from Hera. I mean, it was pretty standard. Like, he didn't need to do anything really crazy. It was just play Aztecs how they're supposed to be played. And yeah, I was able to get a win.
Well,
It's
in the
worth-
meantime, I can talk about the maps here. We've got Hera playing as Bulgarians. Again, it's a civ that lacks the crossbow upgrade, but that's not going to stop him from going archers in the feudal age. I'm surprised that he's made his archery range behind his gold. Maybe he's thinking that Sitaux rightfully will go scouts, and then he can use the archery range and the gold as part of his wall. So that's actually a nice little play here from him then. And in the meantime, we've got Sitaux with his nice scouts. The good thing about Magyar scouts is they're a little cheaper, and they come with forging, iron casting, blast furnace for free with all of the ages. So they're really, really strong. But that's really the only eco bonus that Sitaux gets, is pretty much the forging for free and the cheaper scouts. Hera, meanwhile, blacksmith upgrades, half the food cost.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the main advantage of Bulgaria, or one of their biggest advantage is the half price on the food cost. Blacksmith techs. Just being able to tech switch into multiple unit types makes it really hard to counter what the Bulgarians is doing. But of course, they don't have crossbowmen, so.
I mean, they've got really good cavalry archers, but hold on, hold the phone. Villager at the gold line, dead. There's been a death report. My goodness. So Hera is not going to be too happy about that. Do we get a villager kill at the gold? No, it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Wait. Am I behind? What
Yeah.
time are you at?
But if you're not familiar with the map, Atacama looks like this. And we do have slight fish, short fish here, and deep fish in the corners, so docking might be an option. But more or less, you want to really focus on the center. This is where the good wood is. Otherwise, you're left with these little crummy bummies that no one really cares about. So it's not too uncommon to see towers behind wood lines, and then like castles to secure it in the center. Hera will have the advantage of being able to make a crep post, or a little crappy post, if you will. Hold on. A second villager could go down. No. So Sitaux loses one of the wood villagers, saves the other one, and the scouts will clean it up. But at what cost?
Yeah. So one thing to mention is that there's not actually that much wood in the center compared to the ladder version. There's a lot less wood. You can kind of see that there's kind of one path to the center for Sitaux, and there's two paths for Hera. So maybe a little bit imbalanced in that way. It's like kind of Hera could just wall out the center pretty easily by going through the middle there. But it probably won't happen like that, but it's just like there's not as much wood in the center, but it's still so important to take because the wood on the outside is just kind of yikes.
Hera's going to defend his wood line with a tower, which I don't know if I like versus scouts. I mean, forging is really nice upgrade to have for free, but Hera, with the Bulgarian blacksmith advantage, he picked up the attack too, so the scouts and the spears are on even territory. But Magyar player did just pick up the defense, so his scouts still a little bit more upgraded. And fletching is only coming in now. So Sitau's archers up until now were a little bit weaker. And now I think, again, we've evened out the playing field.
Yeah. The cheaper scouts are just super strong on this map, though. So I think that the Magyar's player, like Sitaux, he can just continue to spam scouts here, and it will always pay off. Or at least, well, up to a certain point. But I think that we might even see a second stable come down from Sitaux on this map. It's just a pretty solid play. It's really hard to make that Castle Age transition, and it's like you will pretty much always get damage with scouts because you can run around pretty easily on this map.
Exactly. Mobility is really strong on this map, especially because it's really hard to do a full wall. Usually small walls will be the name of the game. But Hera just picked up his defense for his scouts, so once again, we have evened out that field. Sitaux, if he wants to be fancy, might want to consider getting bloodlines. He's got 6 scouts. Once you have 6 scouts, 7 scouts on the field, bloodlines with the 20 extra HP that you get is quite nice. But Hera will manage to find this kill here of this one archer, and he's got more archers. 6 versus 2. But I think if Sitaux really doubles down on his scouts and has a really nice mass of scouts, he should be able to take out the scouts and the archers from Hera with limited woes.
Oh yeah, Hera's army's gonna get stomped here if Sitaux is just patient and brings all of his scouts together. Now these deer villagers, oh man, he's not retreating fast enough.
Weak.
He's not retreating fast. That's gonna be probably 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that was so
no.
bad. That just shouldn't have happened. Like he saw the army coming in, he could have retreated.
Oh, say it
and then
ain't
he would've been fine.
so.
But Hera's so happy with that, guaranteed.
He has to be. He's up 3 villagers. I mean, they both idle the same amount of time, so it's not like we have an advantage from that front. No one has horse collar, oddly enough, and both have seeded lots of farms. No horse collar. It's kind of painful.
They just wanted to get that early advantage with the scouts. Like the moment you click horse collar, that's basically 2 scouts worth of res, and they want to have the military just pumping constantly. So there's no room for horse collar here. Sitaux might be able to do some counter damage though. So this is a lot of scouts. Like Hera cannot deal with these scouts except for with walls. So if Sitaux just goes in, he might be able to do enough damage. Let's see the quick walls though.
Yeah.
It all comes down to how the walls are gonna go. These gold bills are in danger.
Yeah,
These gold bills are all gonna die.
Sitaux is really committing to the feudal. He's pumping more scouts. He's nowhere close to castle. Hera's halfway up to castle age. Can we do enough damage with these scouts? There's some archers that are killing more archers behind the wood line here. But in all, Sitaux does have the score lead right now. But I think Hera, he's just going to need to pump out a few knights. And he's got gold and he's got food access.
I think that Sitaux, he realized that he forgot bloodlines like halfway through that fight with the bills, and then he pulled back. He missed a valuable timing there though, and bloodlines is coming in, but it's too late. Like he's lost way too many units before bloodlines came in. I think he thought that he had it, but he just didn't. And I mean, at this point, Hera has the better scouts, and Hera's gonna be up, so this is gonna get a little sketchy.
Yeah, it does look sketchy indeed. We don't have any stone for Hera, so it's not like he can add town centers, and it's not like his villager is going to expand to a crazy proportion.
Yeah, but
still.
Sitaux is going to lose something from these light cav coming forward.
Oh, actually, hold on.
Sure.
He's Bulgarian, so his TCs only are 50 stone, so he can afford another TC. But, I mean, in stone, wood, he's poor.
Yeah. Yeah, he could get one more. I don't think Hera's going to add another TC.
No,
at
no,
least
he's
not
got
for
the
a while.
momentum.
Yeah, he's just going to keep this momentum going. He's going to get that light cav. Light cav, significantly better than scout cav. So, yeah, the scout cav from Sitaux are going to get mostly cleaned up there. Now, the light cav, there's some weak ones in there, but how does
Yeah,
Sitaux
he's got the
defend?
numbers, and now he's adding in the knights, just super strong, and it's just a matter of time before he also picks up. I mean, he might not even need to pick up the armor and the attack upgrade right now. To be honest, I think he's going to favor the extra military on the field, especially against like feudal units. Knights are still really, really strong.
Yeah, I think that Hera will pick up +2 once he has enough res. It's only 125 food for this civ, so it's kind of worth it, especially how his eco's set up. But yeah, I mean, he is just making the military now. But, you know, since he's diving TC, it'd probably be worth it to get that armor. But yeah, pretty solid game here from Hera. And he's just forgetting bloodlines and then losing those 4 villas from Sitaux. Just a couple of times where he just really took some big damage, and the game's over.
And Sitaux calls the GG, and Hera gets the really smooth victory. It was quick, it was easy, it was painless. Well, for Hera, for Sitaux, I'm sure it stung a little bit.
Yeah, that's how this map goes, though. This map doesn't really go late a lot of the time, and that's why you don't see players going for the fish, because it's such an aggressive map. You don't have, like, if you go for a dock, you just lose feudal, and then you lose the game like this. So, yeah, that's why we don't really see the dock anyways.
Yeah.
Now, Sitaux, yeah, he was going to set up barracks and maybe make pikemen or
Exactly.
something.
Well, spears, because he's in feudal. But then he remembered Hera's advice that knights counter them. So.
Counter pikemen. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, that was just solid play from Hera. And maybe chat's right. Maybe he's playing the best he's ever played before.
Yeah. So military, economy, technology, this was Hera's game. Really smooth. He knew what he was doing. He had a plan. He followed through. Sitaux did have a few more military, but in the end, it didn't matter. Hera had strong eco, faster castle, right? Sitaux was still in feudal. Villies paid the billies for Sitaux, but, you know, Hera with the clicks in all the right places. GG.
Yeah.